Hi, this is Jan, and welcome to Tea Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? In case you've never heard of me, I'm Jan from New York City, and I do like to save money. And my normal show, not saying that this is an abnormal show, my regular show is Monday through Friday, every single weekday, uploaded at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Talk about saving money. This is Tea Tuesday, and for any YouTuber who wants to join in on this collab, all you have to do is indicate hashtag Tea Tuesday. It is an open collab of which you can talk about any desired topic of choice. No commitments, don't have to be here every week either. I just choose to do it. Thank you so much for the invite, Patty and Kathy. Thank you so much. I want to talk to you today about mountains and pebbles. What the heck does this have to do with Tea Tuesday? I'll tell you in a minute. Getting myself some water. This is take 3, by the way. 2 times I tried to do a take, and 2 times the phone rang. Then it occurred to me, unplug your phone. So now I don't have to worry about the phone ringing, but I'll always have to concern myself with the door ringing. You just never know in life. How's everybody doing today? Talking about mountains and pebbles. Do you create your self-created mountains? What do I mean by that? Example. You get a letter in the mail. It's from a place you normally may not get a letter from. And right away, your eyes glance towards all of the information. Like you scan it, you skim through it, and your mind is picking up certain parts of the sentence or paragraph, not the whole letter. And right away, you jump to conclusions. And because you've jumped to those conclusions from not reading the entire letter properly, you make a mountain out of a molehill. You call up 10 or 15 friends to vent about it. You made your mountain. Take a minute, take a breath. That letter was probably more than likely a pebble versus a mountain. Go back to that letter. How do they say it? Backwards engineering? Back engineer it or whatever, or just look at it and take out the pros and the cons of that letter. Deconstruct the letter, dissect it. You may be pleasantly surprised that some better news was either in there, or something mild, call to action that you might have to take, like make a phone call or send in, a reply, something tiny. But originally, you made that letter a huge mountain. Who's ever done that? I've done it. I've done because, when you're a busy person, like you're busy, we're all busy doing a lot of things. And we're like, okay, you pick up the mail, you go, and go, oh, really? Huh? And it's like, as it turned out, it wasn't so bad after all. Now, okay, that was just one example. But sometimes there are like other things in life that like you literally like do have to face to face. Maybe it's just something you just don't want to do, or you're too shy to do, or you just, whatever it is that you have a call to action to do in your life that you just don't like to do, whatever that thing may be. Take heart, try not to make a mountain out of a molehill. Let's take a teensy weensy example. Yesterday, of course, was Valentine's Day, right? And a lot of people face that day with dread. Another year I'm by myself. I missed the boat in life. Another year, without a partner, husband, this, that, whatever. Instead of course, looking around you and realizing you really are loved all year long, and you do have your family, hopefully, and you always have God. So, and that was addressed in a past show, if you want to go back to that prior video. But the thing is this, you are still here today, on this day, February 15th, and that what was once a mountain last week in your mind's eye has now been reduced to a pebble, if not smashed down to sand today. How many times have things like that ever happened to you? How about a dreaded appointment? Like an official appointment, you have to go to a government office to fill out some paperwork, and you're thinking, oh, yikes, or whatever. You just feel uncomfortable, and you don't really love doing things like that. But then you tackle it. You tackle the day, you seize the day, and you realize, oh, wow, okay, I got this. I can do this, whatever. Same thing even with financials, with your budget, getting alluding to that just briefly. Oh, I don't want to look at my budget. I don't want to look at the spending plan. I just can't handle it. This is, let someone else do it. I'll delegate it to someone else, this, that. And you realize when you stare at the thing in your face and you realize you live in a world of choices, you can choose to make this a very pleasant experience because you are actually in control. Now, I'm not saying that it's always easy peasy. In fact, au contraire, the hardest thing in life sometimes is to confront things. Who has trouble with confrontation? Who has trouble with staring things right in the face? Sometimes this mountain may be as simple, well, I call it simple, but a simple phone call to negate an invitation from a dear friend or loved one. Sometimes you have to say no, and you fret over this phone call. You're like, oh, I don't want to say no. I want to say no because I don't want to do this thing, but I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I mean, in your mind's eye, you're making this like huge mountain out of this molehill. And if you bury your feelings and just keep going along with things just to keep the peace, meantime, you're not being sincere to yourself. You don't want to be at that thing. Maybe at the moment you can't even afford to be at that thing. The, car fare, the gas money, outfits, or whatever. We make things bigger than what they are. So instead of viewing the thing or the things like this humongous insurmountable mountain that we have created, why don't we just sit down and deconstruct it? Like, okay, so what would happen if you turned Sally down or Dave down for that invitation? Ask yourself, really and truly, what, I mean, I can't answer that because it's, your situation. Sit down. If you need to sit down with a pen and paper to do that, do that. Ask yourself, what will happen? What is the worst case scenario of what could happen if I turn down this invitation that I don't need to be at, that I truly don't want to be at? And maybe at this point in time, your budget doesn't have room to be at. You have to be honest with yourself. What would happen? Well, I could tell you what's not going to happen. And this is the truth. And I use this line many times. I've said it on videos. I say it in person and, off camera. I ask myself, will the world fall off its axis if I don't do this thing? And guess what? 9 out of 10 times? Well, 10 out of 10 times, I should say. No, the world did not fall off its axis. Yes, the sun will come up tomorrow like the song. The moon will rise tonight. So you see, we tend to make mountains out of molehills when in real and in truth, we are really only working with pebbles. So if you have something that you are facing with dread, and sometimes the dread, and sometimes the anxiety that we create because of the dread, self created, that we create over the dread is far worse than the call to action in and of itself. So, therefore, if you are facing the music for something on your calendar, and you look at your calendar and it's absolutely something that has to be done, whatever the it may be, and you face that calendar with absolute dread, don't let it wreck the 2 or 3 weeks before the thing. Don't let that 5 actual minutes or 15 actual minutes of the thing you can't stand facing wreck the 2 to 3 weeks prior. How many of us have ever done that? I've done it. I've done it. And that's why I know it's wrong and stupid. So keep in mind always, how did you feel after that thing is over? And then what you're really doing mentally is you're looking in the rearview mirror and you're no longer looking at a mountain, but you're driving away, and that mountain soon becomes a pebble. Such a tiny pebble, it's crushable, and it's now sand. Remember that. So take prior experience of your own life, If you've ever dreaded anything, then you got the darn thing over with. And then when you were on your way home, you look back and said, hey, I survived this thing, whatever this thing may be. I don't know what that thing will be. Everybody's situation is completely differently happening. But I know this, we don't have to make mountains out of molehills or pebbles. We don't have to. Pebbles and mountains are both hard to the touch, but we can do this. We really, really can. So don't make a bigger thing out of not much, okay? It's not fair to you. It's not fair to you. Keep that in mind. So if you have something going on in 3 weeks you don't like to do, don't worry about it. God's in control. But we have to do our part too. We have to be responsible. Not face everything with dread. Just enjoy every single day as much as you can. In the meantime, this has been Jan from New York City. Thank you for being here and enjoying a cup of tea with me. If you like this type of a message, I'll keep coming back on Tea Tuesdays. Let me know. And I do appreciate every single one of you. Have an amazing, fantastic day. And don't forget, if you're interested, to join Tea Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.